In this example, we're calculating relative velocity. We start with a situation in which we have two cars both traveling north. The car that is in front is traveling at 55 miles per hour north, and the car that's behind is traveling at 45 miles per hour north. What happens when these cars travel? Well, think about it. The car that's behind is traveling slower. The car that's ahead is traveling faster. So as time goes on, the car that's ahead will get farther and farther away from the car that is behind. This won't happen too quickly, however, because the car that's behind is traveling in the same direction, just not quite as fast as the car that's in front. In the end, then, the relative velocity of these two cars is the difference between their velocities, 55 miles per hour minus 45 miles per hour. This is a general rule. When objects travel in the same direction, their relative speed is the difference between their individual speeds. So the relative speed is 10 miles an hour, but that's not what we wanted. We wanted the relative velocity. Velocity includes direction. So the relative velocity of these two cars is 10 miles per hour away from each other. Okay, now let's look at a slightly different problem. We have two cars again. However, the first one's traveling north at 55 miles per hour. The second one is traveling south at 45 miles per hour. These cars are headed in different directions. So what's their relative velocity? Well, as these cars move, they're going to get far apart from each other very quickly because they're traveling in opposite directions. So their relative velocity is actually the sum of their individual velocities. Once again, this is a general rule. When objects travel in opposite directions, their relative speed is the sum of their individual speeds. So once again, we get a relative speed of 100 miles per hour. But that's not good enough because we want relative velocity, and velocity includes direction. So they're traveling away from each other. So the relative velocity is 100 miles per hour away from each other.